Now we are still going on with the telephone conversations. The dialogue was between Radha and Rajani. Now Rajani was telling how she was telling Radha how she has problem with her work, and people do not know how to use a cell phone. They sometimes scream into the phone and all. So let us see what exactly her problems are, and then we are going to discuss how to solve these problems. Okay, that is when I am going to give you the tips. Radha asks, how do you like the job? She asked, isn't it? For which Rajani says, it's interesting, but I find most people don't know how to talk on a phone. They yell into the receiver loud enough to shatter my eardrums. They don't introduce themselves either. Radha, why should they? Rajani, Radha, it is an office. Someone I don't know by voice may ring up for a person who is not present in the office. I must either convey a message or at least inform him who had called. The caller will just bang down the receiver before I can complete any inquiry for a name or message. Radha, I can well imagine your plight. Banging down the receiver without a sorry or thank you speaks very poorly of one's behavior. I have often experienced it myself. The phone will ring in the middle of the night, and when I pick up the receiver, the caller will ask for some unknown person. Before I can complete my answer that there is no such person here, the caller will disconnect without so much as a sorry for disturbing my sleep. Rajani, I think we should start a short summer course on telephone etiquette. Radha, yes, we should. Let's do it. We'll plan it. Summer holidays is still not far away. Rajani, when do I get to meet you again, Radha? Radha says, will you be free on Sunday? And Rajani, yes, I'll call you up and fix the time, okay? Bye for now. Radha says bye. So, if you see, what are the things that people usually do? They just call an office, at least if it's your relative, if it's your house, you will know only your relatives will call or your friends will call. But if you are working in an office and you get a call, how will the person who attends the call know that so and so is calling? So, isn't it necessary that you should give your name? Yes. So, people do not do this at all. This is one minus point in your etiquette. When you call an office, you have to give your name and the purpose for which you have called. Secondly, if you find that it is the wrong number that you have connected to, you should never bang the receiver and just say, okay, thank God I escaped from this call, it is a wrong number. Don't do that. Just say, sorry, it is a wrong number that I have called, or you can just say, excuse me, could you please connect me to so and so, or excuse me, could you please take down a message for so and so. Okay, these are the things that you should do. Now, I am sure from after listening to all this conversation, after seeing this DVD, you will never do such things and you are going to be well refined in your etiquette in telephone conversation. I am going to give you some tips now. In the above conversation, the following etiquette of manners are revealed. When you pick up the receiver, You have to mention your name or the phone number and do not only say hello. So, take down these tips, okay. Very, very important, these are etiquette. Okay, I am just going to give you 6 points. 6 points and you are going to write it, okay. etiquette, etiquette. Now, tips. When you pick up the receiver, mention your name. What should you do when you pick up the receiver? Just now I told you, mention your name. Mention your name, or what else can we do? Or the phone number. Okay, when you pick up the receiver, mention your name or the phone number. Will you do that? Yes. Next point. Do not say hello only. Do not just say hello. And do not speak too loud. Sometimes in a hospital or in a public place, we have heard people speaking so loud, they will forget that there are people around and they will keep on shouting, hello, is it Ramu? Oh, I am here. Yesterday I went there and I had biryani. What did you have for lunch? All this, should everybody know what you are going to have for lunch? It's so ridiculous, isn't it? So, when you speak personal matters, go to a corner or go out of a room where people are gathered and you go out and speak in a gentle voice. Why you shout so loud is, you are not able to hear that other person because there is a big crowd around. So, in order to overcome that lack of hearing, you make a loud noise. So, this is a mistake. So, do not just say hello and do not speak too loud. Next point. If the caller wants to talk to someone at the same place, ask him politely to hold the line while you call him to the phone. That is what we saw in the dialogue. If the caller wants to speak to someone, wants to talk to someone, ask him or her politely to politely to hold the line, politely to hold the line. Hold the line till you call him or while you call that person to the phone. Okay, this is what we saw in the dialogue, the previous dialogue. When Kumar picked up the phone, what did he say? Kindly be on the line, I'll go and call Radha. Rajini wanted to speak to Radha, and what did Kumar say? Kindly be on the line. And what did Rajini say? Could I speak to Radha, please? See, all these please and sorry and kindly, all these words make you a refined person. Next point, do not talk too long on the phone. Sometimes you should know how to give the gist of the information. What you do, you go on and on and on, blah 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 blah, unnecessary details. This is not, see, when you see a person you can talk everything, but over the phone if you keep talking for a long time giving expanded details, you are preventing another caller from calling up to that particular line. Maybe the other person is trying and trying and trying and your phone is engaged all the time, or an office phone is engaged all the time. So, you are preventing another person from making a call. Okay? So, you should remember that. So, do not talk too long over the phone. You may be preventing an urgent call. Maybe somebody is very sick and they are trying to call you and inform you, and you are talking all the stories to somebody else, and what happens, that person may even die. The way you are going on talking and talking, the person who is ailing or one who is sick and they want to give you the message of his or her sickness, that person may even die by the time you keep the phone down. So, you have to be very careful. Do not talk too long over the phone. You may be preventing an urgent call. Next point, do not make calls at odd hours. Like 12 o'clock in the night or 2 o'clock early morning, you should never make such calls, because you should respect the other person's privacy also, like they may be sleeping and also lunchtime if you call also they may be eating. So, you should not call or make calls at odd hours unless it is an emergency. Okay. Sometimes we forget when we make calls, if you want to call a person in America, when you have daytime, they may have night time. So you may just think of a person who's abroad, who's in USA, and you want to just make a call and speak to him. And you will forget that this time here will be a night time there. Any place like that, whether it's Britain or France or Australia, the time differs. So you should check the time and then only make a call. You can't just at random, according to your whims and fancies, make a call. Okay. So when you make a call, see that it's not an odd hour for the person whom you're calling. So do not make calls at odd hours unless it is an emergency. Okay, apologize for wrong numbers and late calls. In case you dialed a wrong number, you have to apologize. Apologize for wrong numbers and late calls. Okay, how do you apologize? Apologize means, how do you apologize? You should say, I'm sorry. In case you make a wrong number, you dial a wrong number and it's not the number that you actually wanted. In case you want to speak to Sheila and it goes to Munusami, what should you say? I'm sorry, I think it's a wrong number, I've dialed a wrong number, and you should keep. Or also, if you're calling somebody, if it's an emergency or an urgent call and you're calling at a late night, you should say, I'm sorry, I'm calling you up so late because it's an emergency and I have to convey this message. Okay, so sorry, kindly, please, all these words, or thank you, when somebody does something over the phone also, you have to be very, very polite. Okay, this is telephone etiquette. Etiquette means manners. Okay, even there are manners when you eat at the table. So everything has etiquette. So this exactly is what you should follow when you talk to a person. Now I will read out the 6 points now on telephone etiquette. I am sure you are going to be thorough with it. When you pick up the receiver, mention your name or the phone number. Okay, that's the first point. Do not say just hello and do not speak too loud. Just don't keep telling hello, hello, hello. You have to give your number or what you want over the phone you have to say, isn't it? Just simply say hello, 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 and that person also says hello, whom do you want? Hello. Then it's so irritating for the other person. Okay. And also do not speak too loud. I told you the recent conversation we saw that the other person's eardrums will burst. So you shouldn't speak too loud. And also the person who's making a lot of noise, in that particular area you will be disturbing the other's work. Okay. If the caller wants to talk to someone else, ask him or her politely to hold the line while you call that person to the phone. So in case you are not the person whom the other caller wants, you should ask him or her to kindly wait till you go and call that person. Okay. If the caller wants to talk to someone else, ask him or her to politely hold the line while you call that person to the phone. Okay. So what should you say? Kindly, please wait or kindly wait. Next point, Do not talk too long over the phone. You may be preventing an urgent call. For example, your grandmother is in some other place, you are in Chennai and your grandmother is in Trichy, and she has been ailing for a long time. She has been sick for a long time, and here you are chatting and chatting with your friend for a long time on the phone. Hey, how are you? How is this? How is that? And you're talking about your college days, and she's talking about her family problems, and you go on and on and on, and your uncle from Trichy is trying to contact you and your phone is engaged throughout. So what can he do? He wants you to come over there, or he wants to inform about the sickness of the grandmother and she is about to die, and you're chatting and chatting away to glory over your about your own fancies to your friend. Okay. So, this will avoid an urgent or emergency call. Okay. So, do not do that. Be very crisp when you speak over the phone. Do not make calls at odd hours unless it is an emergency. So, when you call, the receiver should be comfortable with the time, otherwise do not call. Do not call somebody after 11 o'clock, after they go to sleep. You should always, in case you have to make a call also, hello, I am so and so calling, is it too late to call? Shall I call you tomorrow, or is it okay? So, you can ask their permission and then call. Okay. Next one, apologize for wrong numbers and late calls. If at all you made a call and you wanted to convey something, just say, I am sorry, it's too late to call, but still I wanted to convey this message. Okay. You have to apologize. In case it's a wrong number also, you have to say sorry. I think I thought it was such and such a number, and I'm extremely sorry, and you can keep the phone down. Okay. So, these tips you have to bear in mind, and next time do not make any mistakes, otherwise they will think that you are an unrefined, uncouth person who's not at all had any sort of culture in you. Okay. So, do not repeat your mistakes again.